good morning, everyone, and welcome to STEAM Lab Saturday. So glad you can join me today. My name is Alicia. I'm a librarian here at Mitchell Park Library, part of the Palo Alto Library System. And today we're going to be doing a STEAM lab and making a fun project. We are going to be making a robotic hand. You need a piece of construction paper, cardstock, or construction paper. Today I'm using construction paper. You'll need some yarn. Hey, that yarn matches my sweater. I did not even plan that. So some yarn, a ruler for measuring the straws, and then a few straws. Mine are really long, so I only have 3, but if you have 5 straws or more, that'll work. A Sharpie. I know that in the supplies list I had a pencil. Pencil will work okay, but the Sharpie is good for drawing on the straws. You need a pair of scissors, and the last thing you need is some tape to tape the straw onto the paper, the straws onto the paper. All right, step 1 of our STEAM lab is to make the robot hand. So I'm going to move stuff around. An adult hand is recommended for this because it's a larger size, and just to have a larger hand is better, just for the movement and stuff. So if you have an adult with you and they can trace their hand, that would be great. So I'm going to take you can use your pencil if you have a pencil to trace your hand. I'm just going to use the Sharpie because that's what I have with me. So you put your hand down on the paper and just trace your hand out. And then after we're done tracing our hand, we're going to cut it out. After our STEAM lab today, you can even experiment with using a smaller hand. Like, how does it work differently from a larger hand? You can kind of play around with different size hands. Okay, so now it's time to cut the hand out. So the cool thing about this STEAM lab today is that there's kind of 3 parts to it. The first part is it helps us understand how our body functions, our hands function. The second part is we're going to learn about robotics technology by making our own robotics today. So that's cool. And the third part is the element of design. So everyone's design will be different. And that's cool. Like, this engineering activity is a design activity. So there's no formula, there's no exact formula to follow on building our hand. I'm just kind of guiding us, but you can change it up, make it different, and see how the design affects the robotic hand. How does it function different? If you change the size or make the fingers longer. So that's the cool part of our STEAM lab, is like we're learning about the human body, making a robotic hand, and learning about design in our engineering. All right, there's our hands. Okay, next step, we're going to add the straws. But before we add the straws, we have to cut them. We have to measure and cut. Right, so we take our straws and our ruler. Got a ruler. I'm sorry, let me get into the middle more so you can see. Okay, ruler, and then our straws. So we want to cut, we're going to do 4 different cuts. We're going to do 1/2 inch, which is about right here. We're going to do a 1/2 inch cut, a 1 inch cut, a 1 1/4 inch cut, and a 2 1/4 inch cut. This is 1/2 inch. This is 1 inch. This one is 1 1/4, and these long ones at the wrist, those are 2 1/4. So we're going to cut all those out right now. Okay, get our Sharpie. 1/2 inch, so there's 0, and then 1/2 inch. So make a little mark there, and then we need 5 of them for each of the fingers on our hand. So that's 1. So I just measure out. That's where I stopped with my, that's where the 1/2 inch is, and then I'll measure like that. This is how I cut. You're welcome to cut one at a time. You can measure, cut, measure, cut. I'm just going to do 5 of them right now and then cut when I'm done measuring. Okay, so these are 5 1/2 inch segments for the top of the finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then when you cut, careful, sometimes these straws fly around the pieces of the straw. Bring it down. Okay, we've got our tippy top of the finger joint right there. Not joints, but the bone and the tip of the finger. Okay, now we're going to do the 1 inch cut. So there's 1 inch there. So I'm going to put a mark at the 0. Another one over here. Another one over there. That's 3. Put it in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 1 more. That's right on the little wiggly part. So I'll just mark it. Okay. Oh, that one went flying. So our human hand has 5 fingers and each with multiple joints. And our joints are controlled by muscles and tendons in our hands. We're kind of simulating that with our robotic hands, right? There's so many different joints in our hands, and if you think about it, you learned how to use your hands when you were a small baby, and then by the time you grow up, you don't even think about using them anymore because you know, it's kind of like second nature. Okay, we've got 1/2 inch, 1 inch. Now we need 1 1/4 inch. And I'm just changing the color up a little bit. You don't have to do that. You can have all the same color. So this is 1 1/4. So here's 1/2, and then the 1/4 is right there. I don't know if you can see that on camera. So 1 1/4. So these are a little bit longer than the 1 inch. Oops, didn't make one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more. Okay. Do you ever think about that? You learned how to use your hands when you were so, young, and now we don't even have to think about it anymore. Pretty amazing. Oh, these ones are really flying. Oh, I'm back. Okay. When you're a young little baby, you have to learn how to grasp things and pick them up and work on your grip strength and closing your hand around things, but we don't really think about that anymore, right? Because we have done it for so long. Okay, we've got our 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then 1 1/4. Now it's time for 2 1/4. I might need another straw. Now this is for our wrist joint down here. These are really long, so the wrist joints go through, and we see that that one's connected to the thumb, the pointer finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky. So we need 5 of those. 2 1/4. Did I measure that right? Yes. Okay, cool. 2 1/4, so that's 3. 4, and then I'll just use this piece. Oh, good, yeah, this is long enough. Right about there. Okay. I needed a little bit from my other straw to finish. So that's the long piece for the wrist. You know, when you open and close your hand and you feel your wrist, you can actually feel the joints in there. The tendons, I mean, your tendons like moving around in your muscles in your hand. Okay, cool. So we're ready to start taping it together. We're done with our ruler. Okay. And everyone has a hand. Now, and we need our tape. So we're going to start with the very top of our fingers, and we're going to glue the little tiny ones. So what I do at home, you can do it any way you want, but what I do is I take a piece of tape like this, and then, well, that tape's dirty. I'm not going to use that. I get a piece of tape, and then I rip it in half to make it thin like that. That's just my preference, but at home you can use a big piece of tape. I do that because these straws are so tiny. So I take the straw, put the tape over it like that, and then just carry it with me, and then bring it over to the tip of the finger. And then it's kind of long, so I wrap it around. Wonder how everyone else's robotic hand's going so far. Oh, thank you, Miss Kathy. Kathy is my sound check person today, and she gave me a thumbs up so that I know that you can hear me. So thank you, Miss Kathy. All right. And then the nice thing with the tape is you can adjust it if you feel like this one I feel like is a little too low. You can just kind of take the tape off and move it up. It's not like glued down or anything. So you can make adjustments to your design, which that's what I'm going to do right now. Move it up a little. There, that's better. Okay. Now we just need the thumb. Thumb is so important, isn't it? Helps us grab things, line, right. Okay. And then next is the 1 inch, and we'll put those underneath with a little space underneath. Here, I'll show you the one that. So we're going to put them underneath the top one. Okay. Oh, I already have one. Okay. So a robotic hand, a typical robotic hand is made up of metal segments, and they're joined by joints. And then there's a motor, a computer controls the motor, which rotates the motors connected to each joint, and that's what makes it go open and closed. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Computer controls the robotic hand. And there's robotic arms, legs, whole robot bodies. A whole body, like I've seen a dancing robot. We have one here at the library. Okay. Yeah, we have Elsie and Dewey. At the library, we have robots. Here at the library, part of our e-library. Very cool. Okay. Oh, I'm going to move that. I don't like where that is. Move it a little bit. Right there. Okay. Now we're ready for our 1 1/4 inch. That's going to go underneath it. So this is like the most time intensive part, is like taping the straws on. Move it down a little. Move it down a little. This design I'm showing you, you know, you can change up the design at home. You can, next time you do it, or when you do it at home, you can even use my design as a guide, but you can make your own design, create your own design too. Yeah, it's okay. Designs can be very different, and there's no right or wrong way to make this. Which is most of the STEAM labs that I do with you, there's no right or wrong way to do it, you know. Except sometimes when we're mixing, you know, when we did the lava lamp, you have to, for those, some of the ones that we do, you have to get the mixtures, the combination of the mixture just right for it to have the effect that we want. So, but overall, there's, you know, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Oh, we still need our thumb one. I forgot the thumb. Gotta look. Okay. All right. There we go. Now we're going to do the wrist. And all 5 are going to go place on the wrist, like I'll show you again. From yesterday. We're just going to tape them down and across. So this is the easy part. You just kind of line them up like that. We'll take a long piece of tape. I taped it a couple times through. I'm going to flip this over. You know, what other materials can you think of to make a hand from? Cardboard, maybe? And then maybe some other materials work better than others. Yeah. Okay, so now we're ready to, we're going to feed the yarn through each finger and have it come out the wrist. I did not pre-cut my yarn. I'm just going to pull it through. For the yarn, if you have 5 pieces that are 2 feet long, you know, if you cut 5 strands of 24 inch, then you're good. But I'm just going to pull it out as I go. So this is the fun part. We're going to feed the yarn through, and it goes through pretty well. You just have to kind of feed it through. It's like a snake going through a tunnel. You see that? Just gonna feed it through. Keep going. Okay. Okay, yarn. I know you're not going to get stuck with me here. Uh-oh. Okay, sometimes you need to cut a fresh end, and then it will go through. If you have a trouble, you can use like a paper clip, the end of a paper clip. Okay, I think it's going through now. Come on, come on. Oh, come on. It's stuck. It sure is. Okay, so if you try this at home, make sure you're not sharing your straws with anyone else, but I'm just going to use my breath to suck it through and see if it works. Okay, it worked. Okay, make sure your straws are clean and you don't share the straw with anyone else. Okay. I thought, how can I get the straw through there? And I just thought, maybe if I sucked it through, it worked. Okay. So you pull it, make sure you pull a lot out and there's plenty hanging down. And then I'm going to cut a piece off. And then I'm going to knot it. I'm going to make a knot, triple knot. 1, 2, 3. But actually, in addition to knotting it, I'm going to tape it. Okay, and so the knot doesn't go through. But you know, when I was making my example, the knot kept going through, even if I did a triple knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it, and then on the other side of the pinky, the finger, we're going to tape it down, just so we know it's not going to go anywhere. So just tape it down back there. Okay, so it looks like that. All right, next one. Hopefully this one goes through okay. Okay. All right, go through there. Go, keep going, keep going. All right, I'm gonna put a fresh. Yay! Oh, went all the way through. I didn't have to suck that one through. Okay. Triple knot. You can single knot it if you want to, since we're taping it on the back, but I just like to do 3. All right. And then on the back of the finger, tape it down. Kind of center it on the finger. There we go. Okay. Next one. I mean, this hand, maybe you can try picking something up with it at home after you make it. But think about, like, what if you're picking up something heavier, what kind of materials would you want to make your robotic hand out of? You know, this might be good for picking up like a feather or a leaf. But if you're picking up something heavy, what would you make it out of? Let's go, little guy. Keep going, keep going. This one might be stuck too. All right, let's try. Okay. Got it. All right. I didn't have to do that when I made the first one, but just finding solutions to my problems. That's what we do, right? When we do science. Okay. How can I make this right? That's what I was thinking. How can I get that through the straw? Okay, cool. Okay, 2 more. And maybe even at home you have already thought about a better way to thread these through than I have. I don't know. Like, is there a better way to do it? Maybe? Or a different way? A quicker way? I don't know. That one went well. Went through well. Okay. Over, flip it over, and save it. Okay, we've got 4 on. We only need the thumb. Thumb. Okay. I'll trim it so it's straight. Sometimes when it's curled, it's hard to push it through. Oh, I just thought of a way to make it easier to thread these fingers as I'm on the last one, but you can take a piece of tape and then wrap it around the tip of the yarn. Come on, go through. And since it's harder, you know, if the tip is really firm, then it might go through better. Okay, let's put this one through. Okay, yay, went through. Let me pull some extra because I want to get, okay. We are finished putting all of our tendons and joints and through our finger. Oh, I gotta trim it and then tape it around the thumb. Okay. Okay, let's experiment and see how it works. If it works. Will it work? I don't know. Let's try. So we hold it like this and pull on the string and it should close the hand. Oh, before we do that, let's just take our fingers and do a little soft fold at the joints. Soft fold there, and then another one right there after the, just so it looks kind of like, you know, your hands are kind of like that already. Okay, so you pull on the string and the hand closes. Here the thumb, there's the thumb, the pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. Should we try to do all the fingers except for the pointer finger and see if we can get it to point? Oh, point that way, go that way. So maybe when you notice that you pull it, the hand kind of comes closed. Next time when we make it, or when you make it, maybe put another set of straws right here. That might work out well. Kind of like the way it is now. Pinky moving. And you pull on each of them. See if you can pick anything up. Maybe not. Wave to your friends. Very cool. Isn't that cool? You did it. We made a robotic hand. Pull the joints. If you release, the finger goes back. And then when you tighten it, it closes. It's just like when you tighten your finger joint on your hands, they close and open. And that's how you grip things. You know, this won't be able to grip a heavy object, but maybe a soft one. So very cool. Right, well, I hope everyone has fun with the robotic hands that you made. Thank you for taking the time and making that with me today. I'm wondering what everyone else's are like at home and how yours turns out. Try to experiment with different types of paper, more straws, maybe more joints in the middle of the hand, so it just does different things. My hand actually closes when I pull super hard. Great, thank you for joining me. Wave bye. Bye. Bye everyone. Have a great day, and thanks again for joining me for STEAM Lab Saturday.